the videos coming in. I mean, if you look at social media, look online, you can see are monitoring the different news agencies from Mexico. They'll show these dramatic pictures and dramatic video coming out from parts of Mexico City. Reminder, Mexico City, while it says only 8 million, is much, much larger than that. There's a lot of smaller towns and municipalities that are attached to it. The earthquake struck around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon in the state of Puebla, near the town of Rebozo. It's about 75 miles south of Mexico City. The 7.1 earthquake, in fact, follows another earthquake that was over 8 just 2 weeks ago. Really shook everything. Basically, Mexico City is built largely on filled land. It was once a lake years ago, and over the centuries has been filled in. So, of course, very susceptible to these types of movements. We know that at least 25 bodies were pulled from a school in the southern neighborhood of Villacopa. It's a more colonial area. All but 4 of those bodies, so 21 were children, 4 were adults. There are still searchers there on site, as you can see. They're digging through with their hands. At times, they're yelling out to be quiet so they can hear faint voices. Parents are standing outside the gates, hoping for any sign of survival. There have been some reports that there was a WhatsApp text that was received by one of the parents. Of course, at this time, when you have these type of things, there's all sorts of information coming out, Shannon, that makes it, very fluid. In fact, the numbers are very fluid. The numbers of survivors right now, we're told about 60 were pulled. The numbers of deaths being at 217, all expected to change, Shannon.
And you mentioned social media is covered with these pictures, with these videos. Why are we seeing so many buildings? It appears in these videos that allege they're from this quake. They just look like they're falling apart and collapsing.
Well, yeah, what's interesting is you're seeing a bunch of different things here. First of all, you're seeing videos of people on the 30th and 40th floor of their buildings, and their buildings are just fine, but they, swayed a ton. Or you see people in taxis getting out, and water in one of the very popular canals that was shaking, and tourists trying to hold on to their drinks and stay upright, basically. You're also seeing more video coming from areas further south, some of the smaller villages. Mexico City is very interesting in the sense that you've got colonial buildings there that were built 2 centuries ago. You've got modern buildings with very, very strict building codes to deal with earthquakes, and then you have like shanty areas that are not necessarily really supposed to be there at all. So you've got 3 distinctly different types of buildings in Mexico City. That's why you're seeing areas like this with a collapsed, crumbled building, and right next door a more modern building with virtually no damage at all. So you're seeing these hand crews. We saw the same type of thing in Haiti when we covered earthquakes. We saw the same type of thing in other parts of the world where you see the buckets being passed and people doing whatever they can, digging with their hands, and we're going to see some amazing signs of survival. That always happens in this situation, but gosh, I mean, it's right now a very dire situation, unfortunately, and for many families, as at least 217 have been confirmed dead.